Hello, this is your host Akhil Navluri, and welcome to a brand new episode of the TechnoSpace podcast series. In this podcast episode, I'm super thrilled and honored to welcome our guest, Mr. Ramy Shehata, who happens to be the IT Services Senior Advisor of the Cigna Group company, and he's based out of Rocky Hills, Connecticut, the United States of America. So it gives me a huge pleasure to welcome you to this podcast initiative of mine, Ramy. So, Ramy, off to you. Why don't you introduce about yourself to our listeners in depth and about your company, the Cigna Group?
All right. So thank you, Akil, for having me here on this podcast. It's a real honor, and I'm really happy to be here. So thank you for your introduction. As you said, my name is Ramy Shehata. I'm the IT Services Senior Advisor at the Cigna Group. The Cigna Group is basically a healthcare related business or healthcare um, company that provides healthcare to people nationwide. They're located here in Connecticut, and they have many offices worldwide. As for myself, the title kind of is different from what I actually do. Even though I am called the IT Services Senior Advisor, but in reality, I am the Service Request Management Process
Okay.
Owner. And I also own the ServiceNow process mining tool for the company. And I will actually establish the Center of Excellence for the process mining tool in the Cigna Group.
That's brilliant. I mean, since you just brought up these points about service now process mining, there are a lot of conversations that we are going to have around that. So I can't, wait to start the podcast and have a great conversation through this medium. So at the stroke of this hour, which is 3:41 p.m. IST, let's kick off with the podcast episode. All right.
All
All
right.
right, Rami. Yeah. So, Rami, tell me about this. How would you like to reflect on your journey in the IT industry and your 20 years of experience as an ITIL for certified process owner?
Well, that's a great question. And actually, the best thing that you just mentioned is I'm celebrating this month 20 years of being in the
Oh, wow.
industry. Yeah, it's a great journey. I am really happy in every aspect of it. Every moment, learning and knowing new things, some happiness, some disappointment, unfortunately, which happens. But when I look back at the journey, I see how IT has really transformed from how it started or how I started in the beginning of, hey, let's get the ticket in. All right, let's resolve it. Let's close it. To today, how the business and IT are talking together, collaborating together. They are completing each other. And this wasn't really the vision back in the days. So basically, they used to look at IT as just a support function. You know,
Hmm.
it was, yeah, back then it was like, I have a ticket, you fix it, and we're good. But today, things have really evolved with the evolution of the different frameworks. ITIL 4 has really made a difference in this. It really introduced like the agility and DevOps and all of that, and they all add value to the business. So I guess that was really one of the greatest things I've seen throughout my IT journey. Also, you know, um, in the beginning, as my journey, I started out as an in the event management or monitoring and alerting area.
Hmm.
I stayed there for 2.5 years. It was like looking at alerts and trying to figure out what is causing this issue. And it was a pure technicality, and as time grew by and passed by, you would actually know, oh, I see this alert, this is causing all of this, and this of course goes but that experience. Then I jumped from the alerting and monitoring to what was called back then the crisis management area.
Hmm.
uh,
Okay.
this was something fairly new. I had no idea what it was. And I remember that my manager back then, he was like, we were talking on the phone, and he's like, welcome to the team, and all of that. A few days later, he's like, here's your first project. You have to come up with a crisis management process. I'm like, wow, that's great. What
Okay.
is that? I had no idea what crisis management was, even though I might have heard the term of a crisis. So he's like, well, that's what you have to do. This is your first assignment or first project. You have 6 months to come up with your first draft. It was funny. After 6 months, I delivered something that after he read it, he laughed so hard and just we started again. It's like, let's start from the beginning. So that was
Hmm.
kind of a very funny story. But yeah, and it was part of the journey. Um, and actually, I stayed in the crisis management area, or what is called the major incident management, if we call it what's called today. So I stayed in that area for maybe more than 12 years. You know, and I have seen the transformation also from the major incident management role or major incident manager role from the beginning of how they would just, kind of facilitate the calls to today, the major incident manager really um, has to have a grasp on understanding all of the technologies, able to lead discussions, go down the right path. If people are going off track, they bring them back on the track. So it's not facilitation, it's more of managing the technical bridge today, sending the communication out to the vast majorities of the people in the organization. And you have to make it as simple as possible. I remember when I started out this journey with my manager, he said, you have to have a person who's 9 years old can understand it. Like, how am I going to explain that a firewall is down to a 9-year-old? He's like, well, you got to figure that out. So it was basically behind the messages that you have to work on the simplification of it. All levels
Exactly.
have to understand it.
Yeah.
And of course, in the heat of this, when you're trying to resolve an incident that's causing a huge impact to the organization, you find your senior leaders just, passing by and asking what's going on or messaging you at that point. So you kind of have to be confident enough and, able to know what to say and how to say it to portray the message. So yeah,
Exactly.
the position or the role of the major incident manager has really transformed tremendously. Then we're coming into the service request management process ownership. So jumping as a process owner is a whole different thing. Also the role has transformed from just creating the process to today dealing with different levels in the organization, from users to stakeholders to all of that. Yeah, so, and now, of course, the introduction of AI into the ITSM world.
Right.
Oh my God, it's a huge transformation, Akil. It's really incredible what AI can help you do better. Uh, and people say that AI is replacing ITSM folks. I kind of disagree because the human factor always has to
Always
exist.
been the part.
So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So I see that no. Today, let's use AI to our benefit, and make it have it do things easier and better for us.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's one thing I just wanted to, discuss about that is Gen AI with ITSM, but this is not the right time to talk about it. Probably at the end of the things when everything is, winded up, we will, definitely come back to that point. Now, You just
Absolutely.
told me that your manager years back gave you with the assignment of understanding crisis management, and he gave you 6 months for that. So first six
Yes.
months was not a was a downer for you, but then again later 6 months again you came up really well with that. So when you achieved that, Rami, did you get that that sense of satisfaction? Oh wow, finally I've just won it over. Did you have that feeling?
Of course, it was great. It was, I believe that's one of my greatest success stories in my journey. Yeah, so starting from not knowing what crisis management was or what my manager was talking about to actually handing in our SLTs, the first draft of the process, them reading it, approving it. It's like, oh my God, look where I was 1 year ago. It's like
I know.
I had no idea what it was, and Akil, back then, we didn't have all of the different methodologies and ways of research. So Google wasn't, widespread as it was today. You were very limited with the sites you would use. I'm talking about like 2008.
2008. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was 2008, and Google wasn't widespread as it is today.
Hmm.
Of course, there wasn't the AI technology that you can just ask it a question and give you all the information you need. So, I had to go on the limited sites that were out there in the internet. I would go around asking people, "Have you ever heard of what a crisis manager or crisis is?" Anyways, and what a crisis manager would do, or the crisis management process would be. And actually, I remember that one of my friends in the headquarters back then of the company that I used to work for, he sent me kind of a small booklet about what crisis management is, and reading through it, trying to understand it, and all of that, and just starting, you know, um, putting in the first draft that I created, made me feel like, okay, yes, I finally achieved something, even though it was funny, and it was like a comic book, you know, but it's fine, it was a great achievement. And then how after moving from that version to the version that we handed in and it was approved, of course, big difference. But again, it was a great achievement, of course.
That's brilliant. When you're just telling me the story of this booklet, it actually reminds me of, you're on some kind of a discovery, or let's say exploration, and finally you have found the treasure.
Exactly, exactly. Like an archaeologist who's going out there, let's see what we're gonna find today.
Exactly. And that actually, helped you out, and, it has given you the, that confidence, and let's say that achievement that you today are.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words. But really, this did actually help out because later on through my journey, when I joined different organizations, this actually helped me out, reflecting back to what was the method that I used back then to achieve this. And I used it in actually the most recent role that I have in Cigna Group, enhancing the service request management process and creating the center of excellence for process mining. Of course, I look back of how I achieved this with the crisis management process, and it's always following me with me every day. It's like my little baby.
That's amazing. That's good to know, Rami. Now, Rami, like, what are your roles and responsibilities being the, the IT services senior advisor in your company?
My roles and responsibilities really, so first of all, from the service request management process ownership part, basically I own the process end to end. So that means that I'm responsible to make sure that, first of all, customers get the customers get the service they requested, that the fulfillment team really had an easy time of delivering that service, that stakeholders are happy with the services that are being provided, achieving the business goals, achieving the IT goals, both combined together. Also, going into the continual improvement process. Once a process is created, it just doesn't stop. You keep on going, constant improvements, because customer satisfaction is always changing. You know,
Yeah,
uh, Customers, are seeking more. They want, their services or requests to be granted or fulfilled faster. So you have to really keep up with that pace.
exactly, exactly. That actually gives me a clear idea. But Rami, always honestly speaking, I always have this huge confusion that what do you exactly mean by a process? Is a process something that's related to the front end interface, or is it like a workflow, or is it something that is doing in the back end? Like, I mean, how do you correlate the process here?
Process is front end and back end.
Okay,
It's both. So it's basically giving your users or customers the guidelines or the basics of what you have to do,
okay,
keeping in mind that you have to measure it. Okay. And you have the targets of the KPIs and the MTTR and all of that, and SLAs. Also, when you are discussing with the service catalog manager or the service manager who's gonna provide you with that service, you're discussing SLAs, right? You have
right.
to keep in mind that a user needs this ASAP, while the fulfillment team can't
Hmm.
has a capacity. It depends on capacity. So that's part of the process ownership. So as a process owner, you're looking at the process from end to end, from the user perspective and from the fulfillment perspective and from the stakeholder perspective, which really want
Hmm.
to see that you're meeting your numbers, you're meeting your targets, you're not breaching your SLAs. So, as a process owner, you are dealing with the process end to end, front to back, as one big giant circle.
As a giant circle, and I must say it's like a unit. You're dealing it like as just one unit.
Exactly, exactly. One unit. You have to be part of every single piece. You have to listen to your users. You have to listen to your fulfillment teams. You have to listen to your stakeholders. And at the end of the day, you make the decision and you tell everybody, okay, this is how we're going to go. Stakeholders, they agree or disagree with you, and back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah.
Let's put that aside.
Exactly, exactly.
But for the users and for fulfillment team, they just like, okay, this is the process. We're gonna go with it, and yeah, that's how it is.
All right, all right. So now you just told me that even users also have that complete picture of the process, right, Rami? So Rami, like, I mean, when it comes to Sigma Group, I know that you just gave me a heads up that it's a healthcare company. So the business users pertaining to that company, are they from the medical side or are they from some other department as well?
Um, the of course, every user is different, and when it comes to healthcare, yeah, that's top priority because we're talking about health and all of that. So, yeah, different types of users versus the IT world,
Right.
where okay, my laptop is down.
Hmm.
Okay, I can just take a day off or something like that. But when it comes to the healthcare industry, you can't have pre-authorizations down. You can't have somebody that needs to access their application, or a medical doctor that needs to see some reports. You can't have those down. So, of course, the two different types of customers are really different.
Yeah.
Yes, and the sense of urgency. So that's why if our top application is down, my goodness, the alarms that are going off. You can't find anybody to ask them a question because everybody's working to bring that service or application back up again. So yes, it's really different. The stress is different, of course. I discuss or have, conversations with the major incident managers, and my goodness, these people are under a lot of pressure. From
Yeah,
the service request management side, when it goes into delivering the services, the accesses needed, or the different equipment that's needed, all of that, it's huge, so you have to really be on top of it, making sure that SLAs meet the customer needs and make sense, and the
indeed. Yeah.
fulfillment teams are going at it and providing the services on the time that they really say they can deliver.
That's brilliant, Rami. So that gives me a good insight on that. Now, Rami, would you like to, shed some spotlight on your role being the, let's say the process mining product owner and center of excellence for your company, the Cigna Group?
Oh, I'd love to. And so this is actually another success story that I'm very proud of today. So actually, this is one of the success stories that I'm really proud of today. 1 year ago, actually in March of 2024, when I walked into the doors of the Cigna Group, I was, my manager was giving me an idea of what's going on and my role and all of that. And a while later, a few months later, he's like, I want to introduce you to process mining. I'm like, okay, what is that? Yeah, I'm like, okay, it's like, and that threw me back to the crisis management terminology. It's like, okay, what is that? And he sat down, he gave me an idea of what process mining was, and I was really impressed that there is such a tool out there. So basically, process mining is kind of takes your process, analyzes it, and it visually shows you how your process is, not how you think it is, but actually how it
Actually, how
is.
it is. Okay.
Yeah. It's like because you think like, oh, I create an incident, it goes through here, goes to this assignment group, they work on it, then all of this is documented and it's closed in this amount of time. Okay, that's the process. But let's look at it visually. Provides you a map and it provides you with a lot of things. It shows you where your inefficiencies are, where your rework is, where your incidents or tickets in general are hip hopping between different assignment groups. You'd be really surprised. It's like, my goodness, I never knew that in this ticket, instead of just being worked on by my team and another team, it's being worked by five different teams. So it shows you the visual aspect of your process, and it also gives you optimization opportunities. It's like, here's an opportunity where it can put automation or optimization or enhancements, so it's a great tool. And I started to learn it. I took the ServiceNow course on ServiceNow, and I have a lot of great mentors and coaches and instructors, in that area. I actually, every 2 weeks, I get to with them, have discussions, and of course, have questions that they answer, of course. But it's constant learning. Then at the beginning of like this, let's say the second half of last year of 2024, my manager, he pulled me in and he's like, you know what? Um, I love this tool. I'm like, so do I. He's like, okay, let's widespread it more than it is today. I'm like, okay. And he's like, let's start a center of excellence. I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. And I'm like, okay, so who's gonna do that? And he looked at me like, you. I'm like, oh, okay. So okay, fine. So and that was kind of the initial point, um, understanding that okay, so center of excellence. So what do we want to achieve? No, and it was a journey. Another one of my greatest journeys in my IT, overall journey. Started to, look at it. What do we want to achieve? What do we want to do? How do we want to widespread the idea of process mining? And that was the start of the journey.
Hmm.
Sat down, a lot of thinking, a lot of, research, way easier than before now. Google, or ServiceNow, or talking to your mentors or coaches, so kind of easier than the crisis management part. Put that. Oh, definitely. I put down the plan, put the roadmap, discussion with the senior leaders, getting their approval, and then start of the, okay, let's get started and work on this, building this. So, of course, I created a training program for our users, our Cigna users, and it was more built on the Cigna experience. So our users could kind of feel how this would really relate to them, versus
Right.
talking in a more generic aspect. So I looked at it. I built the training, and was reviewed by the management, and they approved it. And they're like, "Okay, great, let's post it." I'm like, "No, I want to make sure that our users get the full picture, and they really absorb it as much as they can. So I want to create an assessment to make sure that our users understood the training materials they have taken, and we won't grant the users access unless they pass the assessment."
Got it. Yeah.
There was some pushback, but I kind of like walked or discussed this more, with the management, and in all honesty, they were really open to the discussions. They didn't just say no is a no and that's it. No, they listened. They agreed, they disagreed, and all of that. And at the end of the day, we agreed on how the structure is going to be. So he's like, let's not make it long. Let's not make it so complicated that users can't pass it and all that. I'm like, okay, just let me provide you with version one, and they will discuss it. So that's what I did. Provided the management with version one, um, back and forth, of course. But then we kind of agreed, and we kind of went to the My Cigna University website. The people who host that site and are responsible about the content. I gave them the training, and they uploaded it, and we started to market it. Of course, it was more of word of mouth than, having users look at different communications and all of that. And today I'm proud and happy to say that the number of users who are using process mining today has really increased, like significantly in Cigna Group. We're seeing success stories, sharing success stories. One of the things that I'm really happy and proud of is that ServiceNow had their Knowledge 2025 back in May, and one of the teams that had success stories with process mining, they were guests in the Knowledge 2025. They went up on stage, they shared their success story, which made me really happy. And I was like, yes, we were on the right track.
We made it. I mean, that's a
Yes.
great stuff, Rami. A way to go for that. Your process mining, initiative has actually paid off. And I would, probably if I ever come over to Connecticut, or let's say to meet you at Cigna in your company itself, I would definitely like to know more about it. And I would like to, interview your team, given an opportunity in the future. Too early.
Hey, you're more than welcome. And I tell you, Akil, process mining has really changed the aspect of how we look at processes today, right? Before it was and this goes back to part of the transformation, the IT. And before you set the process on paper, you follow it. you don't know what's going on back in the background, versus today you can visually see where your inefficiencies, reworks, all the time that is spent, waste the time that is spent, you can just pinpoint those, work on those, have
Hmm.
discussions. It's a brilliant tool.
That's a great tracking mechanism for sure. Now, I mean, I've just got the complete idea of the process mining. Now, I mean, Rami, did you ever get a chance that, now the process mining is done with these particular tools, let's say with ServiceNow. But back
Mhm.
in the old days, did you ever have an idea that how the process mining is working? Like, was it a little bit rudimentary back then?
So I would say that process mining is the evolvement or the transformation of a gap analysis, right?
Hmm.
Back then in days when you would perform a gap analysis, you'd see where your gaps are, how you can improve your process to really get to increase the customer satisfaction, right?
All right.
Uh, and it would take a long time of analyzing your different types of tickets, as either incidents, requests, root cause analyses, change requests, all of that, until you kind of start to pinpoint where your parts or your points of weakness are and how you can enhance it. Uh, Today, process mining just gives you that in a matter of minutes, and it gives you, it shows you like on right in front of you on the screen where your points of weaknesses are, where your inefficiencies are, and all of that. So this is the transformation of gap analysis.
That's a pretty good insight on that, Rami. Now, Rami, what are the key differentiating factors that you have observed when you were donning the cap of an IT services management SME in the past in your previous organization to that of to that of donning the cap of an IT services senior advisor in the present?
So there's a big difference between the two roles. As a SME, you were more involved in the technical aspects of the process that you were, working in. As a major incident management SME, right? You were more involved with the day-to-day work, doing the operation itself, involved in the operation, managing technical calls, helping your different colleagues out, coaching and mentoring, understanding things, looking into the process, and coming up with proposals of how we can enhance this. Versus today, as a process owner, you own it, and
Hmm.
you see it, you understand it, and you make the suggestions, and you take the decisions, and you discuss with the stakeholders and the management. We want to enhance it in this way. You're more open to the IT world and the business world talking together. You understand the holistic view of everything. um, Back to the SME world, the SME, you kind of just into your process to a great extent. You can and work and deal with the other processes, but not like as a process owner where you really have to collaborate and cross function with different teams,
Hmm.
with other process owners to make sure that your ITSM organization is really going smoothly. So there's a huge difference between the SME part and the process owner part. And today, as a process owner, people reach out to you to ask you for enhancements, or we have this issue in our process. What can we do? In the SME world, I used to do that and say, well, technically you can do this, but today, as a process owner, I say, well, as according to the IT, you can do this, and this would align with your business goals. Yes or no?
All right. That's a great point, Rami. Now, Rami, when I'm just trying to compare it myself, being the SME and the latter's role, I feel that the latter is more like a person who has the authority. more like having the authority and having the grip of things. And mostly he's like a strategist because he understands the holistic view and he's able to understand from where the things are going.
Exactly. Yes, you're absolutely right. And strategy is part of the work, my day-to-day work, because you have to make ends meet. You have to make sure that you're not off course, you're not off track. You don't come up with enhancement that really doesn't align with the business or the strategy that you're going through. So yes, you're absolutely right about the strategy part.
Yeah. I mean, I just got the idea from you, so probably, it's in our conversation, I just get the, the hang of it. And yeah.
Very good. All good.
Yeah, right. Now, Rami, going back to your journey a little bit, a little bit back. So I just
Mhm,
wanted to understand this. Like, what are the cultural differences that you have observed, like with respect to the corporate industry in the US to that of
mhm.
Europe? Because you have got the taste of both the cultures. So how do you compare that?
Wow, that's an excellent question. I really thank you for asking that question. So yes, I've worked in two different cultures, the European culture and the US culture. And there are differences. In the European culture, they are more kind of, let's say, aligned to the processes, they are more aligned to the standards. Okay, they are once the process is put in, until we revisit it again, this is how it's going to be. You know,
Right.
they are more into the uh, we have put the standards. We're working with the standards. This it complies with the customer satisfaction, so we're going to go with it this way. We have standards. We have you have to follow these standards and all of that. In the U.S. culture, it's more of the speed of delivering the process or the service, or restoring different services. So if you have an incident, it's more of how fast can we resolve this incident and restore the service, and versus and what can we do? The agility. Okay, agile work. DevOps, of course, is a big part of the US world today. So the big difference, in the culture of the strictness versus the we can all work together to do this, right? And I really in my journey, I try to blend both cultures in my work, to see whichever fits in the part that I'm working with, the team I'm working with, and in the organizational culture.
Right. Yeah, that actually gives me a clear idea. Now, Rami, I mean, I've just come to know that UK. I mean, you hail from Cairo, from Egypt. So from there, I mean, is there always like a tie-up with the with the Egyptian authorities to have a tie-up with the European companies? Is it like that, or do they have the American culture also there as well?
Well, Egypt has a lot of different investments worldwide, from all the different world. But maybe when I started back in my IT journey, I joined a French company. Right?
Hmm.
The company is Orange Business. Okay, or Orange Business Services. They are a subset of France Telecom. And back in 2005, when started out, France Telecom, they wanted to create three different major service centers outside of France. One was in India, the other one was in Egypt, and the third one was in Brazil. And of course, I went to the Egypt branch, and it's been there since 2005, ever since, or maybe even before that. So yes, you have a taste of the European culture. While I have other friends that work in U.S. companies, so Egypt is full of diversity between the different cultures in the work. You have people from different countries all over the world, the Asian part of the world, and the Western part of the world, and all of that. So Egypt is full of different flavors of different cultures. And everybody, works in the manner of that the mother company has provided them, along with the
Yeah.
Egyptian flavor.
Oh, wow. That's a good way to put
Yes.
it. Yeah. It's pretty interesting to know about the Egyptian work culture because I never knew about it. And, now through you, now it gives me a good idea. And I really want to explore more on it, probably for my next
Okay.
podcast.
Sure. Yeah. Um,
So, Rami, like, what were the key initiatives taken by you to, lead and build the, the ServiceNow process mining, the ServiceNow process mining and the center of excellence, while also, supporting the teams by providing them training and coaching. So, how did those things, come about? Like, how did you sing them together?
So basically, it was the first step of building the center of excellence, or actually prior to that is learning what process mining is. So it comes into steps and different phases. So first, kind of learn what process mining is, go into ServiceNow. Site and taking this certification, then kind of getting coaching and mentoring on it. Then the idea of, okay, let's build the center of excellence. So now you got to go into the idea of how you are gonna deliver this knowledge to your users, and how you want to deliver it. What do they need to know and understand? You just don't want to go in and waste their time, right? So I think the initiatives were basically of the idea how to make it as perfect as possible for your respected audience, and then building the program itself or the training itself and customizing it upon your audience as well. At the same time, once you start, you finish that part. Actually, I finished that part. We just kind of do the coaching demos for different teams to show them, hey, there's this tool out there. It's new, and here's the how you can benefit from it. So
Right.
a lot of different, yeah, a lot of different ideas, and listening to their needs and understanding what they need. You know, because I can go in and tell you about process mining. Okay, it wouldn't really interest you unless I deliver it to you in your terminologies and methodology. So for you, if you work in change management and I show you how great it is in incident management, for you it's like, okay, thank you. All right. I'm glad that this tool exists, but if I show you how process mining is going to help you out in your change management or change enablement, I was like, oh, this is great. We found this. This is I was looking for this. So these are basically the key initiatives to keep in mind that you have to. While you're building your center of excellence and while you're doing your coaching and mentoring and demos, you have to be knowledgeable about your audience, and you have to speak their terminologies and meet their different ideologies.
That completely, gives me an idea and sums up the point. Now, Rami, when I heard the word center of excellence, it's actually a positive word. I feel, it gives a very good positive vibe. So why did they
Yeah.
term the word as center of excellence? Is it like, a place where people are, having a great excellence going on there and, achieving the 100% result? Like, why would that name?
So basically, center of excellence is like this is the place to go to get all what I need to fulfill my needs or fulfill what I'm looking for to achieve to reach my 100% goal. That is
All right.
kind of what center of excellence means, it's the center where I know that when I go to these people, I'm confident enough that they will give me what I need to achieve my goal, to get my wins, to achieve success stories. That's basically the center of excellence.
Probably I asked the right question, and, the answer that you have given actually matches with the question which I posed.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. So, Rami, now would you like to, give me a deep overview, or let's say a complete elaboration about the types of skills that are pertain to the ITSM space? Like it can be, ranging from the likes of the process optimization, the root cause
Mhm.
analysis, then process creation, compliance regulation, and along with that, the request management. So, how do you fit all these together?
Well, the ITSM world, you have to have a lot of different skills, right? And the one common skill that all of those parts really have in common is you have to be flexible.
All
Okay.
right.
You have to be open to learning more. Okay. You have to be very well aware of what's going on and being, up to date with the different technologies and the different aspects and how the world is moving. Those are like the common skills that you must have in all of them. For process mining, okay, you have to really understand how to understand the before and after, right? So before a process mining can actually show you today, this is how it is. And when 3 months from now, after you do this optimization, this is what it's gonna
Hmm.
look like. So you have to understand the before and after. Okay, you have to understand your audience very well. So you have to have the skill of listening to your audience. For request management, you really have to have the skill of understanding your customer's perspective and your fulfillment team perspective, okay? And trying to make them both meet at one area. Negotiation. You have to be able to negotiate with both sides. You have to, the conflict. If there's a conflict, you have to know how to resolve it,
Hmm.
managing the conflicts, okay? And the communication aspect, you have to be able to communicate with both sides. Root cause analysis, the detective part. So yes, you have to be a detective because yes, all teams kind of give you what they have and all of the analysis they have done and deep diving, but because they are so into that area, okay, or they're so looking at that specific problem, you have a more holistic view because you're outside of the box. So you have to have the detective sense and skills to be able to say, oh yes, we are going down this direction, but well, using the five whys, for example, you can go in deeper and ask them a question that will change the whole perspective of where they were going into it. Or using a fishbone diagram, that could lead you to a different area of investigation. So you really have to have the detective skills in you. For compliance and governance, you have to really I'm not gonna say you have to be strict, but you have to know what uh, can and can't be done, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes you really have to be firm with some of the teams, unfortunately, because this doesn't comply with the governance of the organization. So you have to, first of all, be able to discuss it with them, show them how they can, an alternative way of achieving what they need without getting out of the governance or the compliance area,
All right.
because if you really in your compliance area, if you don't stick to the rules, you can cause chaos, unfortunately.
Okay.
uh, yeah. And the final one, your process creation. Process creation, I think the most important skill that you must have is you have to understand the holistic view, right? You have to be flexible. You have to be open to listening to everybody. You have to have the sense of discussion. Um, you know, uh, I think like process creation combines all of the previous skills that I spoke about in the different
Yeah,
areas.
exactly.
Yeah, because you're building something from scratch. You're building it, from end to end, and then you're gonna enhance it. Continual improvement. So you have to be open and listen to everybody, and be able to make ends meet.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, you just told me that, the root cause analysis is like a detective approach. So a person who comes good
Yes.
with the root cause analysis is he going to get dubbed as the Sherlock Holmes of, the ITSM space? Is there going to be a day like that to be, transpired with?
I love that. That you said be the Sherlock Holmes. I love that you just said that. Well, in a way, yes, kind of. So one of the things that really this brings me back to the major incident management area back then. After we created the major incident management team, and it was all set and built and all of that. The management had kind of a restructure and reorg, and we had to integrate both the incident management and the process management. Sorry, problem management together. Okay, in just one process. Okay, I'm gonna start over because I kind of
No problem, no problem. Just feel comfortable, no problem. Yeah.
okay. I don't know why these keep on coming out of my ear because I'm maybe talking too much. Okay. You want to say the question again?
You want me to repeat the question? Yeah. So,
Yes.
I mean, Rami, like, since you just told about the detective approach in the root cause analysis. So I just wanted to understand if a person is very apt in, solving the root cause analysis, will he be dubbed as the next Sherlock Holmes in the ITSM space? Is that something, which is going to fall in place in the future?
I love that characterization. It's like Sherlock Holmes is here, Sherlock Holmes is there. So I love that. Well, actually, well, you have to have the detective skills, right? Because first of all, from the problem management aspect, because I did actually work in the problem management area as well with the incident management. Let me go back in history a little bit. After creating the major incident management team and the process and building the team, and we were all set, then there was a kind of a restructure in the organization, and both the major incident management process and the problem management process, they both were integrated and incorporated together. So this is one flow. Incident managers, you hang up the call, take off your incident management hat, put on your problem manager hat. So that was great, and I think that was a really fantastic approach or of way of going towards finding your root cause, because a major incident manager really has the whole insight of what happened in the incident, and
Okay.
then they put on the problem management cap where this person is understands or see the holistic idea, versus like the different the support teams or the technical teams. They're all looking into one specific area due to their kind of restoration to the service, versus the problem manager. He has a more holistic idea and sees things from outside of the box perspective. Of course, using the five whys approach or the fishbone approach in the problem management analysis, um, because you are not under so much pressure like the technical teams. You have a more relaxed view and relaxed time that you can actually see things from different perspective. So yeah, Sherlock Holmes, that's who you become later on.
Awesome. Probably you should give the patent rights for that. You should say that whenever someone solves anything, you should say, hey, you're the Sherlock Holmes now for this particular
Yes.
thing.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing about this is that Always like I see different orgs. They have the major incident management or major incident managers actually talk to the problem managers when an incident hits, because they might have a different perspective, or might have met this before in a different way, and they can tell them, oh well, you can go down that way. Of course, this doesn't put aside the technical person, on the call. We do not, they don't eliminate their role, but sometimes from problem management, because you have a more holistic view, you can just, as a source of expertise, or just go and ask.
All right. That actually,
Yeah,
answers my question, and it really gives me a clear idea about, the root cause analysis now. Now, Rami,
right.
would you like to give me a deep insight about the number of certifications and licenses that you have been awarded with? And what are the types of certifications that you would like to, recommend or suggest to the listeners who are freshly joining the ITSM space?
That's a great question, Akil. Really appreciate that you asked that. So, started out way back in 2005 with the ITIL version 3 um, framework that the company was introducing into you know uh, the organization. And I took the certification, the foundation certification, to speak the same terminologies as everybody will be speaking. Excuse me. So yeah, you have to, kind of understand the framework and speak the same terminology so everybody would understand each other. Um After that, I was very, lucky to proceed in the ITIL version 3 world. I went and studied the intermediate levels, the continual service improvement, the OSA, and all. They were a total of four, and this kind of broadened my view in the ITIL world. Broadened my view of how things could be done in a better way, in a more you know an- on a framework base way. So that was my journey with the ITIL version 3.
Okay.
Then when I came here to the US, I kind of continued in gaining some certifications. I went more into the process world. So I took the Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt, then the Safe Agile 4.5. Then I took some Scrum Foundation certificates, which really added and helped me out in the SME world, because of how the organization was starting to deal more of an agile world, or agile framework. So kind of understood that. And, I had to, of course, upgrade my skills to meet that. I know that ITIL 4 came out in 2019, but I kind of had a late, intro to the ITIL 4 world. Um, so in early of this year, I took the ITIL 4 Foundation certificate, which really is a different aspect than ITIL 3. ITIL 4 has really evolved, and it's really goes in the world. It introduces the agile world, and it deals with the DevOps world and all of that. So ITIL 4 is more advanced, or has evolved, than ITIL version 3. Even the naming, they rebranded
Yeah.
it. So yeah, so ITIL back then used to stand for infrastructure, excuse me, information technology, infrastructure library. Today it's just called ITIL. So that was a great transformation. Of course, I'm happy to say that I am a People Cert ITIL ambassador. So this really,
Oh,
Yes, it's a great thing that helps me widespread the use of ITIL, the understanding of the ITIL framework. I help out people as much as I can. Post the different articles, especially on LinkedIn, related to the ITSM and ITIL world. So yeah, this really is a great add to my world. Another thing also, kind of an introduction role to AI. It's important now that you understand AI and evolve with it, because you need to incorporate it into your world to make things better. So for anybody who's entering the ITSM world, basically I would suggest that they take the foundation course of the framework their organization is following, either it's
Okay.
ITIL or ISO or whichever framework they're using. So to speak the same terminology as everybody else. The second thing I would recommend is to take an Agile or Scrum course, because that is also the work of or the workflow of how organizations are today. So kind of need to understand that. So, also speak the same terminologies and be on the same page as other folks. Another thing would be a AI um, intro, of course, yes, because you need the world is really moving fast, and AI is really is on full speed right now. So they
Absolutely.
have to, yeah, they have to be aware of what's going on. So yeah, the three major things I would really recommend for anybody entering in the ITSM world.
That's a brilliant piece of advice. And listeners, I think you got your answer now. And, Ramy has just clarified it for you. Now, Ramy, you just gave me a very new, I mean, this is news to me, like you're an ITIL ambassador. So on your self-initiation, do you have any plans of, doing a world tour across the APAC region, the Australian Pacific region, I mean, in India or somewhere in Europe? Do you have any plans, lined up in the future for that?
I wish, I'm really open to anything from that aspect. Currently, because it's basically I'm located in the U.S., and I try to attend anything that's here, that's being hosted here in the U.S. Kind of because ITIL is the People Cert, I'm sorry, is based in Greece, and Athens.
Mhm.
So yeah, they host everything in that time frame, which is great for me. But they have more webinars and seminars and workshops out there in that part of the world versus here in the U.S. It's kind of they do have it, but it's little or less than in the European world, or even in Australia. I see a lot of workshops being held
Okay.
there and a lot of seminars being held there. And it's great. I learn. I try to attend virtually if the time permits me to. Especially on the Australian world, side, the huge gap in time zones. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. But really, I'm really open to expanding and going out more into the world, because as we talked about this previously, earlier in the podcast, that I have a mix and a flavor of both the European culture and the US culture.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, so do you have the plans of, setting up in India? Because India also is a huge market with respect to the IT. So the ITIL
Yes.
framework would come in handy for the people who are in the IT sector here.
Yes, yes. India is a great market. I see a lot of folks. I have a lot of connections in India, a lot of followers on LinkedIn from India, and we have a lot of work that is outsourced in India. and even Orange Business Services has one of their major service centers there. So yes,
Hmm.
I would really love to go and visit India. The culture there, I'm very fascinated by, because I actually have a lot of Indian friends, and I see there's a lot of similarities between the Indian culture and the Egyptian culture as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And really, I would really love to be able to widespread anything in the ITSM world, in the Indian culture, and I'd be really happy to do so.
Amazing. I mean, I'm looking forward for that. Probably, if you're going to do that, I would love to, host that event for you. And I'm just giving you this heads up beforehand.
Great. That'd be great. I'm really looking forward to working with you on that.
Awesome, awesome, Ramy. So now, Ramy, you just told me your success stories with respect to the Cigna Group and few other things. So if I would just like to ask you the success stories, like how would you like to, phrase it out, or let's say, I mean, how would you like to, frame it across to me, like that has completely happened in your entire journey to me and our listeners across.
Success stories. So first of all, in one's journey, the best thing is your success stories, because that's the legacy you're building that's going to live on. You know. Again, like if I go back to the major incident management part, last time I visited Egypt was in 2019. I met my friends there, and we were sitting and meeting. And wha- funniest story ever is that they are still using the major incident management process that we built back in
Okay.
2008 until today. So in the documentation, you find my name there on top. So. And we were sitting, and one of the a new major incident manager was passing by, and their manager called him. He's like, who's that over there? He's like, who? And he's like, this is Ramy Shehata. I was like, oh my God. And he came over, and he was, shook my hand. He's like, oh my God, I heard so much about you. And, this is a great documentation that I put in. It's real clear and all that. So this is a great success story for me, that, today, that people, I'm known, even though I'm not present there, but people know my name. And that what I've built just hasn't gone, wasn't flushed down the toilet or anything. The other success stories that I have is in the process mining world of building the center of excellence. That is a great thing. And I guess one of the great success stories in the process mining area that we have found, that I helped one of the teams find, was that how they were able to save time in how user was hard down for an amount of time, and how they were able to save 2 hours from the total duration of time
Hmm.
for users being hard down. So you saw the process, you saw where your inefficiencies were, and they worked on an enhancement plan. And today, it really has gone down significantly, and it shows through the metrics. Another success story was a team. They thought that from the capacity standpoint, they were set, but when they ran process mining, they found, oh no, we are understaffed. We need to, get more folks into the team, and now it shows the before and after. So a lot of success stories. And service request management area, for example, there was in the enhancement, and working on cutting down in the fulfillment process, increasing customer satisfaction. Another great success story, it is kind of in the innovation part, which belongs to one of the organizations I worked for here, was they had a daily scorecard, excuse me, that was being sent out to users to show them where we are from the availability perspective from the incident management area. Okay. I was looking at it one day. I said, so why don't we transform that into a live scorecard to show you real time where you are,
Hmm.
especially when you have an incident ongoing? So I
Exactly.
think that was a
Yeah.
great. great success stories. So now you kind of know, okay, I'm in the green zone. I got this amount of time to be in the yellow zone and this amount of time to be in the red zone. You kind of increase the pace and all that. So a lot of great success stories that I'm proud of in my journey.
That's brilliant, Ramy. Ramy, just give me a minute. I have to, just charge my laptop. So my laptop is
Sure.
actually out of fuel.
Yeah. Oh, no, no problem.
Yeah, just a minute. I think, yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Right. Yep. Okay. Fine.
Is the light too high or
No,
flat?
not at all. Not at all. It's perfect actually. There's nothing, overwhelming. It's perfect.
Okay, great. I'm
Okay.
glad to hear that.
Yeah. So now, Ramy, I just wanted to understand this. Like, as we have told our listeners that we're in the final thing, we're just going to talk about this. So, Ramy, how would
Mhm.
you link the worlds of ITSM with that of the Gen AI?
Uh, I'm glad that you asked that question, Akil. Thank you so much for asking it. So, Gen AI or AI is really being introduced into our worlds today. It's not being introduced; it's already there, and it differs from one org to another of how they're using it and introduced it into the world. So, um, from a perspective like for the service request management, the use of chatbots today to like you need to reset your password rather than
Hmm.
creating a ticket, waiting for somebody to call you back and go through the process. You can just go on the site and how can I help you today? I need to reset my password. 1, 2, 3, boom, you're done. So you took down the time for a user instead of taking 15 or 20 minutes to log into their system. No, today it's just a matter of minutes. But still, the human factor will remain because what if you can't even log on to your Windows? So now you can't even reach your chatbot to discuss, sorry, to tell them and have them resolve this. So you have to pick up the phone and call your
Hmm.
service desk and have somebody walk you through the process. So you have to both humans and AI, they have to work together. You have to kind of accept AI into your world to help you better make things or easier, faster, not just you'll sit back and have the AI do your job for you,
Not at all.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. So AI can help in maybe for in the major incident management area, categorize things faster, but still you have to do the work of the investigation. It can point you in the direction of things, but not do it on your behalf. So that is basically how I see AI. You can use AI to your benefit rather than for it to replace you. Because if you incorporate it in your world and sit back lazy and don't do anything, it's gonna replace you. But if you work with it and make things better for you in that aspect to make things easier and faster, you embrace it. So you have to learn it, you have to understand it, you have to understand how it can be your friend, not your competitor, right?
Exactly.
uh yeah, because it's making things faster, easier, but again, it can never replace us.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, yes, yes, Ramiro, go on. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, like, it can make suggestions for you that you didn't think of before, which is broadens your perspective. But at the end of the day, you know the real world. You know what is possible, what is not. You know what your stakeholders want, and all of that. So, process optimization or process mining is AI, is built on AI, right? So it gives you optimization opportunities, but at the end of the day, you are still you make the decision, right? So yeah, AI you have to kind of introduce it into your world, but not make it take over your world.
Exactly. There's a norm right now. People are always saying that, AI has come, it will steal our jobs, and, AI is dangerous. I feel that, humans have created AI. How will AI, take over us? It's finally the humans who have to, disconnect the things since we're proficient with
Right.
the, with
Yes.
the nuances of AI.
Yes. Um, I know. Do you ever see the movie Terminator?
I did.
Yes. Yeah. So when AI came out, one of my friends said, "Uh-oh, the Terminator has started." And that was like, well, let's hope not. And the people that made that franchise have been trying to tell the world how it's not a good idea to have robots dominate the world and kind of start to do all of that in the Terminator franchise. So yeah, we that is not where it's supposed to go, right? It's supposed to be in the AI or robots help us, not overcome or replace humans.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, Ravi, AI was there since a long time, but it's now that people are getting to know about it. AI was there.
Mhm.
It was hidden under the ground, but it has been excavated now. Since it has been excavated, it has been marketed. It has been going all over the place. So this is what is
Yes.
my view on the AI nuance.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And my goodness, the marketing that's happening or how it's being widespread just increases day by day. And you have so many different applications for AI instances that you can use. And it's like, oh, this didn't fulfill my need. I'll go to this application. This didn't fulfill what I'm looking for. I'll go to this application. It's crazy. It's crazy. And every day you're reading about a new AI model that came out. As like, I just read about a different one 2 days ago. It's like it's too fast. It's evolving too fast.
Exactly, exactly. Now, Rami, before we actually, conclude our podcast session, so all this while we were just talking about, your journey in the ITSM space, completely with the ITSM, the process mining. Now we're going to head for a quick rapid fire round. It's going to be a light-hearted one with your likes and
Okay.
interest and quick ones.
Mhm.
So, Rami, since I've come to know that you're from Egypt, so what is your favorite Egyptian football club?
Egyptian football club? Uh, you're gonna make a lot of listeners mad at me, but the favorite Egyptian football club is El Zamalek.
Okay, I've heard of that. That's a pretty
Yes,
good club.
yes. Yes, so basically, either you're Al Ahly fan or Al Zamalek fan. So I'm Al Zamalek.
El Zamalek. Okay. So if I would just like to ask you, like, who is your favorite El Zamalek player of all time? Who would you choose for that?
Mo Salah. No, Zamalek player. So basically, that would be. Oh, that's a very tough question because there's so many throughout the years. But if we go back in history, because he was the head coach of the national Egyptian team from 2006 till 2010, Hassan Shehata. And he was originally a Zamalek player, so I'd see he was my all-time favorite because, of course, I go back in history and able to watch his matches. And of course, all of the success he did with the national team was fantastic. So I would say Hassan Shahata is.
Hassan Shahata. That's a pretty good
Yes.
choice. So if I would just, I'll give you two options here. So which is the
Okay.
movie franchise that you would like to select? Is it the Marvel one or is it the DC Comics one?
Uh, okay. So both, because
Both.
yeah, because I have favorite characters here and favorite characters there. Uh, in DC world, I was brought up or raised on Batman. The idea of Batman, the existence of Batman, the video games, the comic books, and all of that. So, and back in 1989, the first Batman movie that came out was like, ooh. So, from the DC world, Batman, of course, Superman is, of course, like every kid played. The role of being Superman for a while in their area. So of course, Superman holds a special place in my heart. So being raised up from childhood and growing up, it was the DC world. Then when Marvel came into the world in the cinematic world. Let's say that. Of course, Spider-Man jumps in along with Iron Man and Hulk. So yeah, I got a big variety, and funny you say that. Let me share this with you. My son for Father's Day made this for me. Oh, you can't
Ah,
see it. Uh,
oh, that's pretty cute.
uh,
That's pretty cute. It's pretty nice.
yeah, you can't see it, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
it's basically, um, I will send you a picture of it. It's kind of a all of the both Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Wolverine, and Captain America Lego action figures. And he's
Hmm.
like, you're as strong as this. You're so yeah.
How cute.
Yeah, so as smart as Iron Man, as strong as Hulk, as mighty as Thor, as cool as Batman, as funny as Spider-Man, as kind as Superman, as tough as Wolverine, and as brave as Captain America. So it's kind of like, wow, you got a mix of both, and I'm so glad that my son sees me like that, as like a superhero. And I'm really sure every father would be really proud that
Absolutely.
their children would see them like that.
That's a brilliant, illumination like what your son has just come up with. I'm really impressed by
Yes,
that. Just tell him that, I'm super impressed with that as well.
I will. I definitely will. Thank you.
That's brilliant. So, Rami, if I would just like to ask you this, like, what is your favorite Indian dish that you would like to, pick over?
Indian dish. So the thing is, because I can don't eat spicy hot food, so this is a
Okay.
big issue for me. It's not, not giving me the freedom that I want in the Indian cuisine. But chicken teriyaki, as long as it's not hot, I really like I love it. I was a big fan of chicken, and it's great. And biryani, of course. I love
Biryani.
biryani, of course. Yes.
Okay. That's a pretty good choice. Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
So, Rami, if I ever visit Egypt, like what are the go-to places that I need to, check over?
Pyramids. Of course, you have to go to the pyramids. You have to see one of the wonders of the world. And I tell you, Akil, when you stand in front of those pyramids and just look at it and wonder, how were those built? Just the idea of just humans like us built those structures is incredible without an excavator or a loader or anything. Their primitive tools that they used is just incredible. So of course, the pyramids, the new Egyptian museum,
Okay.
it's huge. It's huge. It has a ton of things in there. So also, I would encourage you to visit there. If you want to go to the resort area, resort world, beaches and all that, Sharm el-Sheikh. Of course, Sharm el-Sheikh is a great place to visit. So yeah, so Cairo would be those two areas, and Sharm el-Sheikh would be for the resort area.
I think noted. Then I think I'll just keep it in my wish list if I ever visit, Egypt for sure. Right. That really gives me the
All
good
right.
idea on
Let's
that.
do this. We'll do ITSM, thing together in India and together in Egypt, and we'll do that together. How about that?
100%. That's a great deal. I would really, say that sounds like a deal actually.
Sounds good.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. So the final question to you, Rami, who do you think will build the FIFA Club World Cup?
I was actually just discussing that with my wife last night because we're entering round 16, right? So um, my in the World Cup and the Club World Cup right now, my favorite team is the Paris Saint-Germain. Okay, so
Okay.
I really, really hope that they win it. I'm a huge Liverpool fan, though. Okay, so you have to understand that I'm a huge Liverpool fan. Mo Salah, of course,
Absolutely.
huge
He's superb,
fan.
really.
He's a legend. When you just watch him and amazed by his style and work. Even even when I watch Messi and Ronaldo, I see that those three have almost the same the capabilities of how they can deal with the ball. Of course, Messi is a legend on his own. He has different levels of experience. Like as my wife tells me, he has finished the game. Like he finished FIFA. He won every single award out there to be won. So he's a different level. But you look at the skills and how he deals with the ball, how Ronaldo deals with the ball, how Mo Salah deals with the ball. I see those three are really great. And go Mo Salah, go Liverpool.
Brilliant, brilliant, Ramy. So, Ramy, finally, thank you so much for taking time to be part of this Techo Space podcast initiative with me. And really, really, I had a great conversation with you, especially when you were talking about the process mining. It really actually rings a bell with me now. Along with that, your journey was very inspiring. Then the success stories, especially when you were talking about your friends and when they got to know that it was you. Oh my God, that
Yeah,
actually blew me off.
appreciate that.
And along with
Thank you
that,
so.
yeah, and along with that, Ramy, sorry for that. So along with that, Ramy, like the certifications that you have, suggested for our listeners, that was also pretty much precise. So I really had a great understanding and insight on that. So thank you once again.
Thank you, Akil, for having me on your podcast. It's a great honor for me to be here. I have a lot of listeners and a lot of followers, and I'm glad that I'm able to share, an idea with them. I hope this was useful to them in one way. Your podcast is successful, great. I love it. I'm keen on listening to all of your podcasts and episodes. You're a great, host. I thank you so much for your time, and I really had a great time here. Thank you so much, Akil.
Thank you, Ramy. So, listeners, this is your host Akhil Navluri signing off. We would be back with another podcast episode with another eminent and prominent industry leader. So, till then, keep listening. Stay tuned. Goodbye. Thank you, and au revoir. Thank you.